Hello, good evening. Sheepishly here, Sheepishly Made. Just realized my light's unplugged, so I'm going to plug that in. Okay, well, welcome to Tuesday Night Felting. We are getting set up here, and I'm hoping I can see my comments because I forgot to get my computer set up, which I guess I could grab it. I'm pretty tired. It's just been gross outside and lambs and now bottle babies and fun stuff, so it gets pretty exhausting pretty quickly with lambing. And I've been trying to catch up on stuff here in the studio and restock kits and do our running around and everything else. But I'm just gonna grab my computer real quick because I'm not gonna be able to see comments. Yeah, we're totally prepared today. I have been sitting here for a half hour already getting some wool blended and ready and figuring out a couple things. But, you know, I always forget something. So I blended some colors because last week I was like blending on the go and blending lots of colors. Last week before, I don't know. So I decided to get some blended. So I blended greens because I'm working with mostly greens today. So I've got a range of colors. Lots of greens. So lots of greens here, and all right, jumping on my Facebook page so I can see your comments. Because, you know, due to Facebook constantly changing, it's never the same, but, you know. So, if you're watching, say hi. Make sure I can see your comment. I can't find, it used to be, when I went on Facebook, I used to be able to go to one place, and I could see my comments, and it was good. But now, it's not as easy as it used to be. Okay. Just set that to the side. All right. Look at that. I can see. Okay. So, this is going to be the last Tuesday night. I'll be showing you my progress on the deer in the woods. And last week I did up to doing like the legs of the deer and whatnot. So just in the last few minutes, I kind of started putting in some of the like foliage that you see there. And we're going to work on that a little bit. This is going to be a bit of a painstaking process putting in all my foliage here. So I'm going to do a little bit now, kind of just show you how I'm doing it, and then I'll work on it outside of the video a little bit. So there's lots of greenery behind the deer, like the background. I'm going to leave that just as is. So I'm just going to fill in like this foreground area a little bit. Now I'm going to keep... Okay, I'm back. Oh my gosh, this service. Okay, so I was saying that I'm going to fill in this foreground area, but I'm going to keep in mind I will probably end up either cutting off, or this whole like around the edges won't be, you won't see it in the final work exactly. I was going to originally use an embroidery hoop to frame it, but I might end up using a frame. I don't know yet. I have to do some digging, maybe go to some thrift shops or something, see if I can find like an older big frame or something or the other, because this is, it ended up being quite large, but might shrink a little when I wet felt it. So I'm just going to wait and see how it turns out. It's always a struggle to frame these because they are thick. So I'm going to fill in kind of around the deer's legs here, which this already took me way too long to do. There's a little bit that I've started with, so we'll do that, and then up front here we're gonna do some stuff that's much more up close. It's not gonna be super detailed, it's gonna be just a little bit of green and shading, and yeah. So this is my up close picture. So I cannot remember what the heck this weed is called, but we're gonna do some ferns. See, there's a fern here, and then these are a little bit easier to do. Everything's gonna take a while when you're doing smaller detail like this, but all right, so I guess let's get you turned around and start felting. And there's dye part of the studio again, as you can see. I did some rearranging. Hold on, because I love to show you my rearranging because I do it all the time. So I used to have this long desk here that I just put stuff on, and I used to, a little cube thing I stored my bat bits wool in, is just off to the side for now. But I used to have that on top of the table over here. And then now that I have a bunch of felting wool, I am using these clear boxes to store my felting wool in. Those ones over there. These ones. And I bought these, like the garage plastic type shelving, as you can see here. I tried it out in my first set of shelves and I kind of just shoved it in a corner. Then I decided that yes, I like the shelves. I'm probably going to get more felting wool colors in the future so I can continue these shelves. And I'm taking my needle felting kits, and instead of doing bags, I'll be doing boxes, which are not assembled around here anywhere, but they're going to be little boxes instead. So I'll be able to stack them on these shelves really easily. So you must know, as fiber people, you're always looking for better organization and trying to do something better. So you got my little boxes here. These are going to be my future felting kit boxes. I've already done a few. But that's kind of what I'm talking about here. But they will stack instead of my kit bags, which take up a lot of room and are hard to store as bags. So this is a little bit of rearranging I've been doing. The shelves are kind of on the more inexpensive side. So I got them at Walmart. I don't like shopping at the big box stores, but sometimes I gotta go there because they have good stuff. So anyways, did some rearranging, did some cleaning up. So I love to clean and rearrange. I could just do that constantly. But anyways, let's show you some felting instead. Okay. So here we are, and I'm gonna get fingers in the way here for a moment. All right. Okay, I'm just checking comments. All right. Hello, Jennifer Lee. All right, cool. I don't know how much you heard about the storage, Lee. I was just, talking about my new shelves and rearranging stuff because I love to rearrange and reorganize my fiber all the time. It's another hobby of the fiber world, I guess. All right, so we've got some ferns and stuff going on here. And I showed a little bit at the beginning. Before started, I blended some colors of green, so it goes from a dark green to a light green. And so I'm going to be using those colors. I pre-blended because it's been taking a lot of time to blend while we're working. So we're just going to start working on adding some leaves to these little like the stems of the plants I've been working on so far. So just gotta fill this in. And it is slow, painstaking work. It really is. But it will, and it does look nice. So I'm just making like little leaves pretty much, which is just like little curly things. It's nothing too particular. So my plan is, after I fill in all this foliage, which, you know, may take a while, I'm going to do a little bit with you guys tonight. And then I'm going to finish out my project here. I'm not going to guarantee when I'm going to finish it because it's been hectic. And I do have to sit down and work on my tax stuff. I set an appointment now, so I've got to actually get tax stuff done. So the biggest thing when doing like actual nature stuff is to make sure that it has like organic lines. It's not, you know, you're not making straight lines per se, especially with leaves and plants and whatnot. There's not a lot of really straight lines. There's a lot of curving lines. So I'm just making these leaves. But after I'm all done with this project, I'm going to wet felt it again. I haven't done that before when I've made these like 2D wool picture scenes. Usually wet felt and add needle felt to details, but I've been seeing some other artists do or wet felt after as well. So I thought it'd be cool to give it a try and see just what it looks like, how it holds the details. Because sometimes your details can get a little obscured when wet felting. But if they're tacked down really well, it should hold them better. Because these are, I mean, this isn't going to move a whole lot. But it might set everything kind of into each other. So we'll see. And I'm planning, I'll record like bits and pieces and maybe do and do like a short kind of sped up video or something like that when I do the wet felting, or I'll take pictures. So you guys will get to see the whole process. I just thought we should move on to a different project next week. So if you have any ideas of what you want to work on, if you want to see something in particular, you know, you can suggest something. You want to see certain like techniques or something or the other like that, just even comment on here. I haven't quite decided, but you know, with these Tuesday nights, I not only, you know, want to work on like projects that, you know, hey, I'm working on this, you know, I'll take you along with me like this one. But also, you know, we can do some little, you know, mini tutorials that are quicker and, you know, will just be a one-time sort of thing. So while we're just slowly kind of going through the motions here, if you haven't seen other videos I've been posting on the page, I've been posting some kind of lambing update videos and what's been going on this week, or this, it's Tuesday, so it's been more like middle to end of last week. The whole last week was just like crazy. It's a blur. Everything's been going by way too fast. It's been a little crazy. But we've definitely had some, not like huge issues. A few things happen with lambing that, you know, you're always expected to have some issues. But like I said, nothing too crazy. And then this morning today, I posted another video, which I thought was kind of fun to see. We used 3 rams this year for breeding, and each ram, I actually did the math, and 2 of the rams were bred to 22 ewes, and 1 was bred to 21. It was really supposed to be 19, but he ended up breeding 2 of our cull ewes that were awaiting to be shipped. So he got a couple extra bonus points. But I posted a little video showing how many lambs each ram has fathered so far. And I'll be updating that at the end of our lambing. We're almost halfway through. Might do another update here in the next couple weeks. I don't know if lambing's gonna last, you know, a couple weeks or another month or so. It's hard to say. But if you want to check out that video, you can guess to see who's going to, which ram's going to have the most babies. It'll be fun to see. And I don't know if everybody's bred. It looks like for the most part, most of the ewes are bred. Probably at least 95%, I'd say. So far, I've seen 1, maybe 2 that I think aren't bred because we didn't preg check this year. Just, it was so chaotic. We were late with getting our rams in, so then it was a little bit later when we pulled rams out. So things just didn't work out like they usually do. But generally, the rams do a pretty good job. And we left them in, I think we left them in longer this time. So they should have had plenty of time to do their jobs. Lee. So Lee wants to know if I've ever done some 3D or on a resist wet felting. I want to try to make a cave or a little hidey place for the next playmat I have planned. So actually, I was looking at, so all of a sudden I've been seeing everybody's been posting their wet felted like hats. And well, of course, my husband loves a good wool felt cowboy hat. But I've just been looking at all these hats and just watching people make them. And a lot of people with alpacas make hats. I don't know if it's like the alpaca must be a really good material to use for wet felting hats. So I actually looked up hat forms because I saw a stray comment that hat forms are like expensive or something and you have to, get different sizes. So I just like Googled like hat forms today and I found this website that has like a bunch of different styles and I don't know, they almost look like they might be 3D printed or something, that they're like a plastic. And they were like $35 a piece, which, is an investment, but it's not too crazy. Apparently there's wood ones too. That's more like the classic thing that people use to make wet felted hats. So I got looking, I was like just looking at before we did chores, so it wasn't that long ago. And I was like, huh. Even my husband was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that you could do that. So I might be ordering some hat forms. Because that'd be fun. One thing about wool hats is when I get really working in, like even the spring and summer, is that they're just really too hot. And I don't go anywhere. I don't wear hats out anywhere. So, I don't know. But I'm just really intrigued and be fun, fun to play with, just another thing for me to try and get into. But I haven't really done that quite yet, but I see a lot of people, do that sort of thing. Okay, Lee, I think that there there was somebody who did a hat felting like tutorial. I'm pretty sure. I think it was one of the alpaca people, and I cannot remember who it is. But that's what got me looking, because I saw another post, I think, of theirs. And they were working on a hat. So I'll have to look. But if you go to the Wafa group and you search like hat making or wet felt hat, something like that, you might be able to find it. Or go back in the events, if you can go back in the events. And I don't know if you can see past, like, go to the event tab, if there's an event tab in the Wafa group. I just usually go search. Like, one thing I wanted to watch was Penny from 3LNS making the braided rug. It's just something I just, don't have all the time in the world to do everything I'd like to try. So she did the rug making demo, and I've always been interested because there is a lady named Loretta Klein. She's she's more on the west side of the state. I think she's like southwest Lower Michigan. I think she's kind of over there somewhere. But she has a whole book on braided rugs, and she would always come. I met her because she would judge the fleeces at the Armada Fair. And we were heavily involved with Armada Fair, so we did that. I was like superintendent, my husband was fair board, so we got to meet her on several occasions, and she would always judge the fleeces quite a lot. But she used to do classes on the rug making. I know she's had some health issues, and I think her husband passed not too long ago. But it's always kind of been like on the mind that, look at the rug making, that's kind of cool. So anyways, I was just searching for, Penny's tutorial in the waffle group, but I haven't really sat down to watch it yet. But there's a lot of good stuff that the vendors do in that group. More and more recently too, which is really cool to see. I used to do a lot more in the group, but I just don't have all the time and energy that I used to dedicate all the time to all these different things. Okay, so talking about this project a little bit more. So these ferns here, so I made like kind of a sweeping arc for the ferns. And then I'm doing kind of like a little, what's the shape called? I don't know quite how you call the shape, but so it's pretty much your little arc. And then I'm doing these. Actually, I'm starting them bigger and then letting them get smaller as I go. Kind of like that sort of thing. But it's kind of just a regular petal type shape. I mean, really, the fern, if you look, I looked them up a little bit more. They actually have like, they're like stems, and they have like little, leaves that come off, kind of like more like that. And those are like all along. But I'm not doing all that. So, and it's not like I'm just doing a fern. Always gravitated away from doing like nature, like even drawings and whatnot, just because there is so much detail and it's hard to replicate nature. So now you can kind of see what I mean by the foliage was going to cover up a lot of like the deer's legs and whatnot. So I didn't do a whole lot with that part of the deer. And I haven't exactly covered up all the legs yet, but I will be adding more and more. So does anybody have any great ideas of what they want to do next week? If there's anything particular, I could always throw out like a supply list or gather this stuff and we could do a felt along, a quick felt along. I just don't know quite what yet. Okay, so I filled out all of my little ferns that I had started. I'm going to pull us up here. Ooh. Okay, let's add some more. Okay, so when I add like a new stem, I tack down the end, and then a lot of times I'll twist that wool because it'll get finer. So there's a few more stems. And I can have just some like grass type stuff in here as well. Just like little stems that come up. It doesn't hurt to have a few fillers like that here and there. I'm going to fill in a bunch and then go back and add leaves to some of them. And then we'll add some leaves. Oop. So pretty much I'm just going to continue to fill this in. And this just takes a really long time. So now that you've kind of seen what the next step in my process is, this will be the last time we do a live felting on this project. And then I'll post a video kind of showing my next few steps after I finish the needle felting and some pictures of the progress. And then when I'm all done, you'll get to see the whole thing. So if you have any suggestions what we should be doing next week, let me know. Might do a little 3D project next week actually. That sounds kind of fun. I just gotta decide exactly what I want to be working on. But until next Tuesday, thanks for joining me. And you can catch up on the latest lambing and everything else going on in the farm on the page here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And happy felting.